Hey guys, I'm at my house. Remember, I'm a neighbor to FLAIR'S, and today we're officially going to be pouring concrete on the foundation. So this has been a long time coming, and I want to visit with some of the guys. The lead guy's name's Bob. I want to check up with him and see if he has any questions and how things are going. So let's go talk to Bob. We got a lot going on here at my house we're building, and what you can hear behind is one of the big heavy equipment. They're out there building my gravel road. So with winter conditions, these truck drivers and guys don't want to have any excuse to drive on dirt and dust and mud. So we built a road which will then be a great base for, eventually we'll have either concrete or asphalt, but looks like that guy could use some grease on those tracks. Okay, so now we're getting the driveway put in. Let me take you over and show you how these guys have been working on this foundation. These are 10-foot tall walls. Most foundations are only 9 foot. I went a little higher because it's a garage underneath the house, and I wanted that extra volume for taller garage doors and what have you. So let's go around back and I'll show you the time lapse on how we got to this stage. What I want to do is get the expert in mind of what we're doing here with Walker Foundation. By the way, those guys, you have what, a 2-hour drive here?
It's about an hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's worth it because these guys do a fantastic job and you're great to work with. So I wanted to show the viewers that I explained that this is going to be another garage, but this one's outside the house because we're putting a deck on top with the Flexicor, right? Yes. So what might be confusing is that how do we get from this garage to that one? Because it's a full wall.
Yes.
But you have...
we have 4 openings. This wall looks solid, but we have 4 4-foot wide openings cutting through the wall. So when we pull the pans, all you're going to see is 4 18-inch columns bearing up that whole wall with a 2-foot concrete header over the top of everything.
And that's that way, one, we want to get through so we can pass from garage, but those columns are in place because it's got to hold up this Flexicor concrete lid that we're putting on top of the patio.
Right.
So, yeah, it looks like you forgot the holes, but behind those panels are wood framing that you stuck in.
Wood framing, and it's nailed in. You can see the line of nails. Got to drill them in. We got to block them up and make sure they don't move.
Did we do it right, you think? I hope?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I got. Look at the dust that come off that shirt. Wait, that's good. All right.
In each of these, we have 6 3/4-inch rebars.
Oh, yeah, I know it's a rebar. It's oversized, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're tied down into the footing. And then I have an L bar that goes up and into the header, so everything's tied together in one piece.
And you guys bend all that stuff. So you can see this rebar. That's why I was wondering why it's so big. Normally, rebar is half this size, but it doesn't look like much. But this is that.
It's called a number 6, which is a 3/4-inch rebar. Most residential construction, we use 1/2-inch rebar.
Yeah, but why do we go so big on this one? Because you can overcharge me? Is that why?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's part of it. But we don't want you to charge us if it comes down.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That kind of
this has got a hold, so that's why it's worth the extra money. Soon the pump truck's on its way. I always like that part where, and that you guys have your own pump truck, don't you?
Yeah, and he's the one that's coming today.
Okay, all right. We'll stick around to be able to show that where they filled this thing full of concrete. And then how many days does it set before with this cold weather? Do you have to can you let the pan set?
I'm gonna put some accelerant in it. And it should be with accelerant and no fly ash and hot water. It should set up pretty well even overnight.
Oh, okay, well that's awesome. All the winter conditions, you guys make up for that to keep things moving quicker. So I'm excited to get this part done. And then after that, framers show up and windows, and I should be moved in here in what, 2-3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
If
okay.
you're a good framer, though.
If you've got a good framer, yeah. Let me take you through, and we'll show you what this opening looks like before they fill it up with. Before they fill it full of concrete. All right, so this is another opening you did for me because that's the storage underneath the front stoop. Instead of having a wall there, you made this larger so I could get like a side-by-side or whatever inside. This garage went from 25 feet to 30 feet, I believe.
Yes.
Now, will you cover this up with another pan here shortly?
No, we just leave this open. If you look up in there, there's a
it's a header. Header.
So it's a 2-foot header above this.
Okay.
And that's got some more of that number 6 rebar spanning the top of it.
So we're bridging a big concrete bridge to be able to get into here. So on the other side, you've got a wall where the gun safe's going to be. So this is the storage side.
Yep.
Farther down, it's going to be the gun safe. And then you'll have a door, a header. You've created another header, but it's behind the pans.
Yeah, now there's another door back by that corner, and that's your door to the gun safe.
Okay, all right. But it doesn't look like this. The pan's in its place. So that's the wall behind us here that will get to the other garage, which is where the Flexicor patio is above. So we're in a 3-car garage, and then there's a living quarters on the other end of the garage. So that will all get framed in. There's no concrete there because it's a full walkout.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. All right, looks good. All right, guys, we got the pump truck here, and this guy's setting up everything. I think this is one of my favorite part of construction when they bring these big pump trucks in, because that will reach clear up in the sky. The concrete truck will back up and dump into this chute right here, and then this big pump will pump it all the way through, all the way up through the air, and then those guys will run a hose and fill the entire foundation up. So we'll keep you posted on how that all progresses. But right now, he's getting everything all set up. Getting this whole truck will be lifted off the ground, and we'll be ready to start pouring here real soon. All right, guys, things are really starting to move now. We got 2 of the concrete trucks. We're expecting 5 total. They just keep one going, one right after another. It's important that they keep the flow of the concrete going for the pump truck, so that what we don't want to get is what we call a cold joint. They keep that pump moving at a consistent flow all the way around the foundation. They're putting calcium chloride into the mix of the concrete, which will generate additional heat, so the concrete will cure faster. That way they can get the forms off hopefully tomorrow or the next day. It's for a cold weather treatment. So here shortly, they'll start pumping that stuff up, and we'll have a foundation here towards the end of the day. So this is my favorite part of my job, is when all the big equipment shows up. Okay guys, I climbed up on the hill here to get a better perspective on what's going on. So you can see we got 2 concrete trucks backed in, and there's gonna be, a matter of fact, here comes one right now. We're expecting 5 total, but they always keep one is always pumping concrete out, and then when that one's done, the second one will go, and as the first one leaves, here comes the third one will come in. So they're dumping everything in the back of that pump truck. So it goes in the pump truck, and that white hose you're seeing on the pump truck next to the big red crane is what's traveling all the way up and over, and then at the one end you'll see the guy handling the hose. That takes a lot of extra effort, and he's going to start at one end of the foundation, and they're going to work their way all the way around the house. So as the first truck empties out here pretty soon, this third truck will take its position, and here he comes. Okay guys, now we're downstairs in the lower level looking up at what these guys got going on. So as you can see, the big pump truck, that's the lead guy. He goes around and fills up the foundation, and these guys follow behind and make sure that the walls stay square, and then they'll smooth out the surface on top, because you got to have a very smooth foundation. They'll come in later and put in the bolts so that we can then put the sill plate down and tighten down the sill plate, which marries it up with the house. We're downstairs, you can get a sense. Here's what it looks like. This is a walkout wall. We've got a footing, and then we've got some insulation in here that also helps for freeze and thaw. But you can see how nice and smooth this is. Tomorrow they'll come back, unhook all this, pull it off, and that's what we call a little weenie wall for a walkout foundation. These guys are really moving quick. This is so much fun having all this activity going on. Here's the guy putting in the bolts right now. Check this out. Is there a trick to getting those in there straight?
Not really.
Just a good eyeball? How far down do you typically, oh, there they are. Can I show these guys what you got? So that's a little hook, right, that grabs the concrete, goes down in there and pulls it up, and that's what the finished product looks like. Awesome, thank you. So they'll go all the way around, and then they'll put the framing sill on that. He's not doing it over here because those are garage doors. You do not want those where the garage door is going in. This looks kind of odd, sticking out in the middle of nowhere. This is a supporting post that we're going to use because we have part of the upstairs dining room cantilevers. It sticks out beyond the house quite a bit. So we have asked these guys to pour basically almost a 24 by 24 square. These will come off. We'll put stone all the way around it, and then we will frame off this, no different than what we did at FLAIR'S house. So this will get a big cedar beam eventually, and we'll have some steel plates in there as well to hold it in place. So we have two of them, and that's a garage in between there. So one car there, then we got two cars going this way. These guys are cruising right along. I'm gonna check in tomorrow and I'll show you guys the finished product. So we'll see you back here tomorrow once we start taking the pans off. Okay, the Walker Foundation boys just showed up. It's not a very good day. They're gonna start taking down all the foundation pans. So I'll visit with them, make sure I'm out of their way. This goes really quick, so we're gonna do a time lapse for you guys. All right, I'm gonna check on the boys and see if they got any questions for them right now, but pretty much the job is done. All I gotta do is take everything off, and then I need to find out how long it needs to cure before I can backfill. And then before I backfill, I have to get all my waterproofing on. So let's go see what we're in for. Hey, good morning. How are you? I'm Brad. So today you guys will just take a couple hours to get the pans off. I mean,
Just depends, I think. Yeah.
if you have gloves or not. It's a cold day.
Yeah, we got
If
it.
you don't have gloves, you got to take breaks. All right, we're just gonna stay out of your way. I don't know if you have any questions for me on anything.
Not
good?
really. We'll just try doing
Okay. Are you gonna load the pans from the back?
No, we gotta set them on the rack in the machine.
When the
Another
machine
boom
comes,
truck.
you'll rack them in the middle. Then the
Yeah.
truck will come and pick them up
Yep.
up here. So
Yep.
pans coming off. That's good. We can still work if they're sitting in the middle. This big crane comes, picks them up, and away they go. So, all right, I'll get out of your way so you can get working.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. All right, what's your first name?
Oscar.
Oscar?
Yep.
All right, Oscar. It's all yours.
All right, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Wow, I go to lunch, come back, and these guys have all the pans off, stacked in their little baskets. It's looking good. Let me take you guys through and show you what we have now that the pans have all been pulled. So starting off right now, this is what we call a weenie wall, and that's where the framing is going to go on. These are the bolts that will tie on to the house. They'll be bolted down to keep the thing from blowing away. But something I came up with the foundation guys is this will be a walkout. This is the bedroom downstairs that will walk out to a beautiful patio. But sometimes if we're able to, I put in these foundations for a retaining wall. It saves a lot of money, and then it also looks like it's a part of the house. So having that done right now is going to save us a lot of time in the future, because for winter time you can't always get that stuff in. So that is done. Let's spin around. Let me show you the rest of the garage. All right, so remember I told you about these columns outside? Those piers are going to hold up the extended dining room. That's called a cantilever. I needed more room besides this foundation, so I pushed that out about 4 foot. And to cantilever, usually 2 foot's the maximum. I went 4, so I need those are going to get stone, and then those big cedar posts like we did at FLAIR'S house. So also, if you remember, we had this big wall. Above this is going to be the patio with Flexicore. That's coming, but notice all these openings. I did this because we need these to support the Flexicore, but I didn't want to make this garage over here so confined. So now we're able to walk through on both sides. I don't know, it just seemed like a good idea. I'm not sure, but either way, this is done. So when I transfer from this side into here, The FlexiCore will be overhead. That's an outdoor patio. We're basically inside a confined concrete vault, but we're able to use it as a garage. That's why I did that. Versus building a big deck, I now have it for a little more money. I have a garage and a concrete deck. Let me show you the gun safe. So this is going to be like we did at FLAIR'S. This is under the front stoop. We are now outside the house once I walk in there, but we'll put a concrete lid on that. We'll probably put a vault door, so now I will have my own gun safe in the garage area downstairs. So I'm real happy the way this turned out. There'll be somebody coming here hopefully tomorrow, in the next couple of days, pulling these pans out, and then we'll start getting the plumbing in, and actually we're ready to waterproof and start framing. So thanks for watching and staying tuned. I have a lot more that's going to be going on with this project. We're going to document every phase of construction. So I really appreciate you watching. I'm Brad the Builder, and I'll see you on the next job site.